So, good morning, everyone. The weather is not really good. I really hope that we have a day off, but it doesn't work like that. So we need to work. We need to go to the class. Last week we had a midterm, so you can see your score in the term class. Now we are continue our material. We are talking about business reporting, visual analytics, and business performance management. Okay. In the second hour, we will use another software, Tableau. Some of you already mentioned in the presentation that some of the company using Tableau for presenting report. So we also learn about to analyze the data using Tableau in the second hour. So we start with the business reporting. I think that this is we already learned in the before the midterm that the business reporting is a tool that helps share information clearly and quickly. So it makes the employee or the user understand or read the the data easier. It's usually written and organized with facts, numbers, charts, and sometimes pictures to make the message easy to understand. Of course, the purpose is to help people, especially managers, make better decisions. So, like what you did in the NIME or what you did in the Power BI, you put some chart, you put some picture, and of course, the purpose is to make a better decision. For example, so every year, Apple publishes an annual report, and this report shows Apple sales, profits, new products, and future plans. The investor, employee, and the public, meaning the customers, can read it to understand how Apple is performing. Okay? So this is the purpose of business reporting. So you may think that why business reporting is very important, because of course you can with a business, the good business reporting, you can make easier decision or make a better decision. However, there's a lot of another purpose why business reporting is important. For example, businesses need good information to make smart choices. Business report help to show how different departments are doing, because sometimes in the business we have several different departments like marketing or sales or finance or human resource production, and they have different key performance indicator or they have a different purpose. So showing this business report will help to show how different departments are doing. Number two, sharing important information with employees or partners. So with a business report, you do not need to share a lot of pages of report in the work, but using the chart or graphic, easier for employee or partner to catch up or how do you say it, conclude the information. Number three, explaining results from analysis. For example, why sales increase or decrease. So because using trend or using how do you say line graphs, you can easily to tackle, easily to see when or which product is increase or decrease. Next, convincing others to take action. For example, like approving a new project. Keeping a record for future reference. You can predict if the graph or line is increasing. So you can predict what will happen in the future. Most likely, if the trend is going up, most likely also the price or the sale also going up. If you notice, like if you buy, if you would like to have invest on the gold, even gold, if you buy gold like gold, uh, gold is never, the price is never going down. The trend of the gold, if you have money, you need to buy gold. The trend of the gold is always going up. Like if you buy a house, the price of the houses is always going up. It's very seldom it's going down. Okay, but it's different with cell phone, mobile phone, car, motorcycle. Sometimes they're going up, and of course, after 5 years they're going down, or after 3 years they're already going because too many series. Okay, for example, Toyota uses monthly sales report to track how many cars they sell in different countries. If sales drop in a region, they will investigate and take action or maybe offering discount or launching new marketing campaign. Okay, so this is one of the example of why business reporting is very important. Okay. So this is the example of the good or bad business report. You can see here in the lab, it's a project status report, and then the right is business report. They're all good. They looks like they're all maybe have a how to say show the same point, the same conclusion. But because the lab is giving more like a make a table, and then they have like showing only the most important thing. I think this is also easier to understand. Okay, and then this one is of course is more clear. It's more clear, but somehow if the client or the partner or the employee doesn't have so much time, of course this one is not really useful. But if your client or your boss doesn't have enough time and then they have a lot of jobs, maybe giving the conclusion like the last report is easier because the boss or the partners or the client can easily get the point. Okay? So this is the example of good versus bad business report. Okay. Nowadays, before when we don't have any computer, maybe it's 1995 or 1990s, we don't have any computer and then not so much printer, so maybe they give a report like this one. They have like how do you say it? Only the words, a lot of words. I think it's kind of like confusing. But now we have computer, we have laptop, we have a color printer. So business report should be more interactive, should be more attractive. Okay. So nowadays, when you need to report something, so modern report, not just text or tables. So text and table is kind of like old-fashioned. It's kind of like out of date, old-fashioned. So nowadays, because we have computer, we have a software like last semester you learn about Nine, you learn about Power BI. The business reporting should be more interactive, more interesting. Okay, for example, like this one. So now businesses use dashboard or visual analytics. So this is what we did last time using Power BI and using the what do you say Nine. So a lot of graphs and then a lot of chart, table chart, and then they have different colors, so easier to see. For example, in the middle, like what's the highest, what color is the highest, and then purple or green. So it's easier to. But for some people that how do you say color blind, it's easier. It's not very advantageous. You know that some people have a color blind. They cannot a difference between red and green and blue. somehow. It depends. So I have friends before. When I was learning in the how do you say it, university. In the beginning, we have a medical checkup. I don't know whether you had a medical checkup or not before you entered the university. But when I was studying bachelor degree, I did have a medical checkup, including eyes. So if you go to the engineering department or technical department, you cannot be colorblind because like if you see here in the panel, a lot of wire with a different color. If you cannot see different color, it's very dangerous. So and you cannot you install wrong wire. So especially for technical machine engineering or what is it? Electrical engineering, you cannot color blind. Even if you go to be a doctor, I don't think that to be a doctor or medical school, you cannot be color blind. Okay, so some people, for some people that have a color blind or difficult to differentiate the color, it's hard. Okay, so I have one of the students here. When I was next semester, I teach class is AR/VR, and then we make 3D models, like 3D models. And one of the students, I asked in the final exam, please create a 3D model with a blue color, and then they give like a green color. And then I said blue, why green? Oh, I'm sorry because I'm colorblind, so I cannot differentiate between blue and green. So in the color line, they look like same. They cannot differentiate between blue and green and red if I'm not mistaken. So okay, then that is not your. It's not your. I'm just like okay. So I need to how do you say it, accept because this is like the not by this is natural. Okay. So by this dashboard, it is a colorful, easier, very interesting, interactive display with chart because like in a Power BI or 9, you can click the graphs and it can move. Okay, icons and graphs that make complex information easy to understand. So today we just created in the last before midterm to create this table. Okay. For example, the company Salesforce provides a dashboard for their users. A sales manager can log in and instantly see, for example, total sales this month, so they can easily tackle. Top selling product, sales variation. If I'm not mistaken, using 9 or 4 PI. 4 PI, if I'm not mistaken, I can see the product based on the region in the US, and then they show you the map of the US. Okay, and then sales trend over time. And of course, all of this have the quickly spot problems or opportunity. Okay, so this is the. Okay, until now, any question? Next is Business Performance Management or BPM. So what is Business Performance Management? So BPM is more than just report. Business Performance Management is more than just report. It's not only just report. It's a whole system that helps a company. So turn the big goals into detailed plans, track progress toward those goals, analyze the differences between plans and actual results, and adjust action if things are not going as expected. So not only stop until you can read for example, you just not stop in the, okay, I know, for example, 22 product that share total revenue. Okay, the best one is the yellow color. Okay, and then nothing to do, but But in the business performance management or BPM, you need to take action. You need to give further action. For example, you need to adjust or analyze why this is happened. You need to plan something. You need to reach the goals. Okay. So this is one of the video to explain about BPM.
Yes. So today we're going to do a discussion of business performance management. So what's BPM? Well, business performance management is actually a set of performance management analytic process that enable management of an organization's performance to achieve its business goals and objectives. These processes include financial planning, analysis, as well as financial goals. And they increase the focus on strategic planning, as well as the emergence of new solutions that support financial goals and profitable growth. Well, business performance management is actually a subset of business process management, and it consists of three main activities. The first one is the selection of goals that an organization will select that are in alignment with the organization's vision. Two is the consolidation of data the organization will use to track performance and progress in achieving these goals. And then three is the intervention of managers as it applies to the data being reviewed so they can have a positive impact on the improvement of future performance. So all three of these activities actually run concurrent, with the intervention of the managers affecting the selection of goals, the information being monitored, and the activities undertaken by the entire organization. So I hope you guys enjoyed this session and wish you a lovely day.
Okay, so this is one of the explanation of the one professors that business performance management or BPM is actually not only stop into read the graphic or with the data, but you need to take more action. For example, you need to set up the goals. Of course, you need to prepare the data, and then intervention. Intervention is mean that the manager take action, manager give decision, and also this they say that business performance management or BPM also including financial planning and financial analysis. Okay, so this is the explanation of BPM. So BPM is not only stop to read the table, read the data, read the graphic, read the chart, but you need to take more action like to set the goals, analyze the data, and do some intervention about the data, do decision or action. Okay, and you can also include the financial planning. Okay. Okay. Now it's 9:30. Let's have first our attendance. Okay, so please scan the QR code for first hour attendance and make sure that you scan successfully. Okay. so make sure that you scan successfully. Okay. So one of the examples of BPM is Coca-Cola. So Coca-Cola uses BPM to manage its global operation, and if one region's profits are lower than expected, they use data to find out why. I think because the Coca-Cola has how do you say how to say deployed in mostly in every country. I think that's all over the world. I think in every country we have a Coca-Cola product, so that's why they use really PPM, so they can see the data or analysis by region. They use data to find out why maybe production costs went up or a marketing campaign failed. Based on that, they adjust their strategies. Okay? So what is the relational between PPM and visual analytics? Okay. So what is the difference and what is the correlation? So business performance management and visual analytics, they work together. They cannot be separated, but they work together along each other. So PPM provides the system to track and improve performance. So the purpose of PPM is to provide a system and to track and improve performance. While visual analytics makes it easy to see what's happening with charts, graph, and dashboard. So the PPM provides a system to track and improve, and visual analytics make it easier to see what's happening with the chart and dashboard. So visual analytics just give you some visual presentation, and PPM you need to take intervention or take action. So Amazon, for example, Amazon uses dashboards to track warehouse performance. If shipments are delayed in one area, PPM tools enable managers to quickly identify this issue and take corrective action. Okay, so Amazon usually, or big company usually uses dashboard to track warehouse performance, and if there is in the data, they say there is a problem, shipping delay. So the PPM tools enable managers to quickly identify the issue and take an action. So this is the common type of report. There is a sales report, progress report, annual report, compliance report, and justification report. So sales report, of course, is for to show the sales trend. Progress report, if you have a project and then you would like to see whether the project is complete or not, track the progress, so we call it progress report. Annual report is monthly, weekly report that usually present to client, to customer, to your boss. Usually, like for example, weekly sales report, monthly sales report, yearly sales report, yearly performance. So everything that annually, we call it annual report. And then there is another thing, maybe you haven't heard about it. This is compliance report. What is compliance report? For example, compliance report, if you have a government has a regulation, you need to follow, or you need to, how do you say it? Follow the regulation. Of course, if you do not follow the regulation, there's a problem. So compliance report, for example, Tesla showing how they meet environmental regulation of a company. Then justification report. So a manager at Google writing a report to request budget for AI research. Justification report is to proposal report, for example. So justification report is only proposal report. In the proposal report, you need to convince, you need to make sure that the person give you some money. Okay, so this is justification report. So sales report, progress report, annual report, compliance report, and justification report. So this is some of the example common types of report uses in business. Okay. Another type is there is informal report. So informal report, of course, is like a short and then under 10 pages, and then just for a short meeting, for the not really important meeting, for daily use, actually daily use. So it's we call it informal report. So usually it's not really clear, not detailed, short, under 10 pages. Okay. Memo is one of the example of informal report. Another thing is formal report. If there is an informal, or there is a formal. From the name is formal. Formal usually are longer. It's like 10 until 100 pages. More detailed and shared inside or outside the company. Okay. When the short report is a quick update about event or system changes. So quick updates, a short report, and so there is informal and formal and short. So short is really short. So quick update about event or system change. So for example, a daily system status report from Amazon Web Services or AWS. I have the video to give you an example. Let's check the video.
Just the differences between a formal and an informal report. So reports, and it's very cool. Report.
So this is like the detail what is a report between formal and informal. So formal usually in the body there is an investigation or procedure following together information. There is a finding and recommendation. So this is more specific. While informal, if you see that in the body, there should be factual account of accident situations, like, and then, or maybe some of the informal report, they just follow who, why, where, when, what, and how. They're just easier. So who, for example, who is the victim, or who is the PIC, why, and then where it happened, when, and then why it happened, what happened, and how does it happen. So usually informal is the more specific, or some people using 5W and A. So who, why, where, when, and how. Okay. This is the difference between formal and informal report. Okay. Next one is internal and external report. So there is a sales report, progress report, annual report, compliance report, and justification report, and also informal, formal, short. Well, another type, so another resources, they also how do you say it, classify into internal report and external report. Okay. For example, internal report for managers, teams, or staff inside the company. So usually, because it's for internal, so it's just like they're using the data or using the language that easier to understand by the internal members. Maybe using the format, using the language, using the data that all of the internal member understand. Okay. For example, Tesla sends products should report to its management teams to track how many cars are being built each week. So this is only for production report for the production team. Well, of course, external report is for another person, for another institution, another parties. For example, for governments, investor, or the public. Okay, so for government, investor, or the public. For example, all companies listed on the stock market, like Apple, submit financial report to the Securities and Exchange Commission in the US. So, for example, like all company, they need to submit financial report to the government, to the finance department in the US. So, of course, they need to prepare the report based on their template. So they have their own template. Okay. So this is internal and external report. Until now, any question before I continue to SPR? Okay. So next one is Standard Business Reporting or SPR. So some government, such as Australia and Netherlands utilize Standard Business Reporting or SPR to facilitate the submission of report by companies. Okay. SPR usually reduce paperwork, making the process faster and more efficient. I know in some country they already paperless, but I still heard in another country, the Europe, they still need a lot of paperwork. And paperwork sometimes is not really good because it's gonna be lost. Like before, I noticed some teacher they have like a manual attendance check, and then it's just gonna be lost. But I prefer paperless. Like even like in the some of the how do you say it, Excel, I prefer using the paperless. Okay, for example, a company in the Netherlands can send its tax report or financial statement directly to the government using SPR or Standard Business Reporting. So SPR usually they need to fill like the report. The template is prepared by that person. Okay. So, for example, a company in the Netherlands can send its tax report or finance statement directly to the government using SPR, saving time and reducing mistake. Okay. For example, I think I have the video. The video.
Standard business reporting is all about reducing the reporting burden for Australian businesses. A key to our reduction in reporting burden is to work across the agencies in our scope, which includes the tax office, ASIC, our company regulator, the banking regulator, state territorial revenue offices, as well as the Bureau of Statistics. We want to get a single language to report to government to those agencies and bring about a situation where businesses will have access to pre-filled forms based on information in their accounting software that can be sent directly electronically to the government, saving their time and money reporting. I guess the first thing is we've come up with a single language for reporting to government, which means we've taken all of the reporting requirements across the agencies in our scope and come up with one set of definitions for all of the reporting. We'll have this coupled in businesses software so that they'll be able to see pre-filled reports that they can edit, check, complete them, and then send them electronically directly from their accounting software to the government agencies and receive a receipt. So that means that their accounting software becomes their portal to report to government. No more rekeying, no more logging on to different portals. The promise for the expected savings of the $800 million was calculated in our business case. The way we've calculated this is on the basis of voluntary take-up. Businesses will use the SPR functionality provided by their software for accounting and financial systems. 12% of businesses are expected to use this function in year one, increase to 24% in year two, 48% in year three, and 60% in year four. The forms supported in software will start with the most common, most popular forms in the early stage of SPR and grow to cover the full functionality we have. So we expect that businesses, once they see some of their other colleagues using this software and the functions that SPR provides, they'll want to use it as well. Software developers are very supportive of what we're doing, and they're building out single reporting languages in their software, with some products becoming available from 1 July, but they'll be rolled out progressively from July 2000.
So I'll stop here. So they say that one of the SPR, you can report your, for example, this is in Australia, the financial statement electronically. So there is no zero mistake because you need to fill the form electronically. So if you not fill, you cannot proceed to the next stage, and then you can save and then come back later, and then if you're all complete, you just send to the government. And of course, if you send by mail or post mail, your statement may be lost. But using this system, of course, if you submit it, then it's going to be on the system, and the possibility of loss is smaller. And of course, it also saves your money, because if you using the electronic report like SPR, of course you do not need to go to the post office and then send to the shipping cost. But using only the internet or your laptop, you can directly send the report. So it's save time, save money, and then minimize the mistake. That's the things about SPR. So the SPR usually using electronic report. Okay? So the business report process. So of course, when you talking about business report process, there is several things. For example, collect data. The first one is collect the data from different sources. For example, sales, operation, market. So when you would like to give a business report, you need to collect the data. The data belongs to the purpose why you what kind of things you would like to analyze. So, for example, from different sources, sales, operation, market. So you need to carefully check the data. Organize and clean the data using ETL processes. What is ETL? So ETL, I put a sport in how to say abbreviation or the explanation of ETL below. So ETL stands for extract, transform, and load, and it's a process used to manage and prepare data for analyze. So this is kind of step to process the data before they analyze. And then after you collect the data, organize and clean the data, maybe the data has not correct, or there is data that have the anomaly data. You need to create easy to read report with chart, table, and summaries. You try this a couple times ago using Power BI and 9. So after you collect the data, arrange the data, you need to create easy to read report with chart, table, and summaries. And finally, the most important thing is you can make decisions. Use the information to improve business processes. Okay. There are several types of business reports for managers. The first one is metric management report or metric management report. So this report focuses on tracking key numbers or performance target over time. For example, for external group and internal management, there is two different different goals. There are, for external, they somehow we call it CLAs or service level agreements. So promises to customer about service quality and response time. I think this is for like a agreement between you and another person. Okay. For example, agreement to promise that the customer about the service quality or response time. And then for internal, of course, they use another goals. Usually internal, they use KPI. KPI is key performance indicator. I think in the future, when you work, you will hear this word a lot. So KPI is key performance indicator. So important numbers that show how well the business is doing. For example, your KPI now is you need to achieve a score 80 for the midterm and final exam. For example, this is your KPI or your goal. Department sales, the KPI for this 2025, you need to sell 1,000 units or you need to achieve $1 million profit. Okay, so KPI kind of like a goal. So many companies use this report as a part of quality improvement program like Six Sigma and Total Quality Management. Okay. So I will stop here first, and then we take a break, and we come back 10 minutes later.